Welcome to Piano Video Lessons Year 1. This is Unit 3, Lesson 1 and Video 33 on YouTube. Just click the information card here in the corner to come on over to pianovideolessons.com. So today we're going to be talking about rhythm. Up to now, all of the pieces of music that we've learned have been in 4/4 time. And 4/4 time means that there are 4 beats in a measure. So we could have a measure that has one long note like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 beats. Or we could have a measure that has a rhythm like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that is also 4 beats. There's all sorts of ways we could organize the 4 beats, but every time so far we've been playing with 4 beats in a measure. So here we have a whole rest. So this is 4 beats of silence. 1, 2, 3, 4. No sound at all. Now, sometimes we want to have music that has a different sort of pulse to it. So we want to have music that feels more waltz-like or dance-like. So we might want it to be in 3/4 time. So what this means now is that we have the pulse of the music going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can feel that it's heavier on the 1. 1, 2, 3. So we would play that like this. 1, 2, 3. We could also arrange the time so that the whole measure is held for 3 beats. When we do that, we use this new kind of rhythm called a dotted half note. So the dotted half note looks just like a half note from our previous lessons, which would hold for 2 beats, but it has a dot added after the note. And a dot that's added after the note and beside the circle, the note head, adds the time value to the note that's equal to half of the original note. So if this original note is equal to 2 beats, which it is, then the dot is equal to half of 2. So half of 2 is 1. That gives this note the entire length of 3 beats. So we could play this dotted half note. We could play this on the piano like so. 1, 2, 3. And here we have it. 1, 2, 3. So we can also break up that measure and divide it between a 2-beat note and a 1-beat note. So we would have 1, 2, 3. Or we could switch it around and have 1, 2, 3. All of these add up to 3 beats. And anytime we see this sort of time, we write the time signature at the beginning as 3/4, because we're still counting 3 quarter notes in a measure. You see here we have 1, 2, 3. So that is 3 quarter notes per measure. If we have a full measure of silence in 3/4 time, we don't do anything fancy here. We still use the whole rest that we've seen previously in 4/4 time. And so in 3/4 time or in 4/4 time, the whole rest is for the whole measure. I'm not sure why they did that, probably just for simplicity, but again, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's learn a piece of music now that plays in 3/4 time. All right, so here we have the piece of music called Good Morning. It's a children's song, and it's written in 3/4 time. You can see at the beginning here it says 3/4. And what we're going to do first is we're going to just have a look through this music and see what we recognize. And right away, you can see that the left hand is going to be playing these dotted half notes. So in every measure, the left hand is playing, and it's holding for 3. So let's go ahead and work out the notes and the patterns for the left hand. Hopefully you're practicing naming your notes, and hopefully you're getting proficient at recognizing these notes. One of these notes is a guide note, the bottom one, and it's bass C, and then the top one is one note above F, so that makes it G. And here it shows to use fingers 1 and 5. So we're going to place our left hand on the piano with 1 and 5 on C and G. So we're going to hold that for 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's the first measure. In the second measure, we do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. In the third measure, you can see that there's a change. Instead of playing the G on the top, we're going to play bass F on the top, and we'll play it with finger 2. 1, 2, 3. So let's try this first line, beginning here and counting as we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's look at the next line. We see the same C and G 3 times, and then we see this different pair of notes where it keeps the G on top and plays it with D on the bottom. So instead of playing this low note, we're moving up 1 to D, and we'll play like this. And then we'll go back to the 1, 5. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, change, 1, 2, change, 1, 2, 3. So you have to be very careful to notice that you're counting to 3 without stopping. That it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't let this happen. 1, 2, 3, think. 1, 2, 3, think. 1. So what's happening there is I'm actually adding a 4th beat to the measure. So always listen that you're playing actually 3 beats. So now let's look back at the right hand. Let's look for patterns. It's always good to look for patterns in music. And so here we see a note that's all by itself at the beginning of this piece. It just plays a little G here before the bar line. Now this measure does not have 3 beats in it. It only has just this 1 quarter note. And we call this a pickup measure. So a pickup is when you just have less than the regular number of beats. And if you look for the other 2 beats that are missing from this measure, we should have 3, we only have 1. The other 2 are actually here at the end. So it's like we've taken a measure and split it in half, and we put 2 of the beats here, 1, 2, and we put the 3rd one here, 3. So this music starts on the pickup. So it starts on the beat number 3, because here we have 1, 2, and we always count 1, 2, 3. There's the bar line. 1, 2, 3. There's the bar line. 1, 2, 3. Notice right before a bar line, I'm always saying 3. So this is why we start off by saying 3 here, because this is the 3rd beat, because 3 always comes before 1. That's going to lead us into beat number 1. So if we were to clap this, we would clap 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the first line. Let's clap the next line. I'm just going to count. I'm not going to write it in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So it finishes with just 2 beats. All right, so that's interesting patterns that we've discovered. Now let's look for note patterns. So let's look at this measure. It's got 3 quarter notes, and if you look at this measure, it's the exact same 3 notes. And if we look on the next line, we'll see it again. Can you find the same 3 notes on the next line? Great, it's right here. So I'm just going to circle all 3 of those because that's going to feel the same each time I play it. Now, what fingers will we use to play that little pattern? Well, we started off with finger 5 on G, and then here we go down to E, so that's going to skip down to 3. So it's going to go 5, and then 3, 1, 5. And then again, 3, 1. It looks like it should be 5 because it's G again. However, the music says put your 4 there. So let me show you what's going to happen there. You're going to play 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 4. So instead of playing the G again with your 5, you're going to hop over with your 4 and play the G with your 4. That now moves your hand a tiny bit, leaves another finger available to play this A. So we have A, skip to F, back to A. And then your 4 is still on G, hold 2, skip to 5. So here we have 4 on G, and then we switch our 5 to G. And then here's our pattern. E, C, G, E, C, and E. That was almost the same, wasn't it? It started the same. It has the same first 2 notes, but then this one's different. It goes to E, and here we have notes that move down by neighbors. Space to line to space to line. So beginning on F to E to D to C. So just walking on the beat. Walk, 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 hold 2. All right, let's try that from the beginning. Here we go. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, move your 4. 5, skip, and 5, 4, hold, skip, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. Now E and walk, down, down, 1, 2. Nice. So now we're going to tap the rhythm, and we're going to count the beats, and my left hand is going to tap when my left hand is playing notes. My right hand is going to tap when my right hand is playing notes. So here we go. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, next line, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you should practice now tapping with both hands so that you get this feeling of the rhythm and the coordination that you're going to need with both hands. So now we can look back at the piece. Once you've solidified that, I can do it perfectly, so I'm ready to go on. If you can't do it perfectly yet, you should keep on practicing the tapping. Now, what you also want to make sure is that your right hand can play through this steadily. So it should sound like this. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And your left hand should be able to play like this. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we'll try it both hands together. Since my right hand is confident, my left hand is confident, we're ready to try it with both hands. Here we go. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So the places you're going to find tricky are this spot here where we've just hopped our 4 up to 5 and we have to change the left hand. So be super careful there that you work on that until you don't need to stop. And the other place that's going to be tricky is where your left hand changes to the other group of 2 notes that you have to play at the end here. So I'm betting that many of you will have to stop here and think, and that's okay. Just make sure you practice just this little bit right here until you can get it without stopping. So if I was going to start at morning and how do you do, I would practice through here. So here's where I'd be stopping. Oh, I'm thinking, I'm stopping and thinking. Oh, I got it. Yes, I'm so happy I got it, but I'm still stopping. I'm going to start exactly in the same place. Still thinking. How can I make that easier? How about I slow down? Aha, now I can actually take the time that I need to get that left hand organized. I could also try just the left hand alone right in there, and then try it again. You can also start right at the hard part, but that's only so helpful. You do have to link it back into the piece by coming back here from morning. Notice I'm lifting my wrists as my notes finish. I'm releasing the tension in my fingers. Up and down. So each time I hold those 3 notes, I'm sort of releasing. It's not for a whole long time, but I'm letting it come up so that I don't have tension in my wrists. And this will help with performing things a bit later. Awesome. Okay, so practice this until you can do it 5 times in a row perfectly without stopping anywhere. And in our next lesson, we're going to be learning about thinking intervallically. I'm not sure if you know what that means, but it's a very important musical concept. So join me in lesson 34.